All right, David and Matt, thanks for joining Mike Sjostedt with the BookLife team, and I write the Cover Crush column. And Matt, your book, Marmalade Parade, was featured in this recent edition of Cover Crush. Yeah. Here we've got Matt, the author, and David, the designer, and we just want to talk with them about the design concept and also the design collaboration between author and designer, because a lot of indie authors do it on their own. They're very DIY, but some also want to learn how to effectively collaborate with the designer. So this should be a good convo. If you guys want
Okay.
to introduce yourselves, and then we'll get into the book.
Okay.
Sure. Well, my pen name is MC Joudrey, but my real name is Matt Joudrey, and this is my fifth book published, and this one was published by a great Toronto firm called Guernica Editions, and they were very kind. And I got to work with the great designer David here today, so I'll let him introduce himself.
Yeah. My name is David. I'm a book designer. I work with Guernica, and I get a short list every quarter, and I came across Matt's uh, book blurb uh, prior to design, and it seemed interesting, something that I could have fun with, and uh, so that's how it all started.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, Matt, do you want to tell us about, because in your statement for Cover Crush, it said that you used a photo that you took, and that was the
Sure.
jumping off point for the book. So if you can hold up the cover.
Yeah, of course. Here's the cover, and the photo that you're talking about is this guy right here.
Yeah.
Try to zoom
Yeah.
in. And so that is the of all the photos that are on the cover, that's the only one that I took. That's I would call that a real photo that I took. I was in Winnipeg on a bridge that was near the Assiniboine River, and there was a woman reading a book in the forest, and I just quickly zoomed in with my phone camera and snapped that photo, thinking that I don't know, it somehow struck me.
Hmm.
And oddly enough, the woman walked past me about a half an hour later on the bridge, and I was gonna say something,
Whoa.
and then I didn't. I just let her walk past. I don't know why. It just seemed like the right thing to do was just like leave this as one of those mysterious moments
Mhm.
of just this random person reading a book. And so when I submitted it over to David, I mean, I'll let him talk about it, but I feel like that one might have been one of the more difficult photos just because all the other photos were coming from other sourced material.
Hmm.
And so using the one was
Yeah.
really important to me. And sometimes, you have to let go of things, and I probably wasn't willing to let go of this one.
Yeah. Can you talk a little bit about how that photo plays with the concept of the story, and
Sure.
how the cover and the story connect?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So I mean that specific photo, I turned the character, well, the woman, into a character in the book where she may or may not be real, and there is this sort of like constant, almost ethereal kind of ghost-like aspect to because the book is concerned with memory, and so these fading and eroding memories constantly ebb and flow with the protagonist, and this character he believes might be or is his daughter,
Mm.
and so there is this sort of surrounding mystery and importance of this character and the driving force, even to some degree, it's a part of the sort of the propulsion of the plot, and that aspect I really enjoyed toying with.
Hmm.
Mm.
Yeah, David, if you want to weigh in.
Yeah, that was the photo. We actually came up with a cover based just solely on that photo. Tried to make it into kind of a dream memoryscape,
Hmm.
and and it was like a starting point. And the calibration between Matt and myself really was just I think Matt mentioned fragments, and I think that was like something. I'm a visual thinker, so
Mm.
that kind of started the whole thing.
Mm.
And then we came up with Matt gave me a short list of photos.
Hmm.
Uh, um, the rooster was another important photo.
Mm.
That's on the top right corner. Um, and and the book cover itself is if you flip over, can you kind of open it up into a spread?
Yeah,
Like
of course. Yeah, that's a
the
really great
cover, the
idea.
spine, the back, kind
Yep.
of all flow together, right?
Hmm.
Even the author photo is kind of the wording. So the whole cover really is
I love this too,
what
David.
Matt
Oh, I
was,
love that.
yeah, what
That's
Matt is
great.
describing as fragments.
Yeah.
And Matt even supplied uh, I believe three breaks in the story, and inside there's fragments that Matt
Yeah.
chose. And those are interesting as well.
Mm.
Just really faded out, and those are in color, which is interesting. So Guernica really rarely does that, but for this book, yeah, it worked out really well.
Nice.
And so we did those in color, and so everything came together really well. Like the story, the fragments, memory.
Hmm.
Um,
So what's
yeah,
interesting to me is, as we get into talk about collaboration, there was a word that really stuck, the word fragment. And I think that's interesting to talk about collaboration because Matt's the words person, you're the designer. And so as a writer, I've collaborated with designers too, and it's been words and also mood boards to kind of help inform them or give them a brief of like, here's the vision I've got. So it's interesting that was there anything about your collaboration where obviously you were talking, but the word fragment really came up? Were there other words that helped you or helped you
Well,
both?
we did what I love about what David did, which is not easy for uh any designer. But what I love what he did is that the design uh carries all the way through the book, where
Hmm.
from cover to cover, the interior design, chapter headings, everything is compositionally sound throughout the entire book. So there's never a point where you feel something doesn't work. The idea of consistency in a very inconsistent book
Mm.
is a great juxtaposition, and it really
Hmm.
worked well. I mean, David could speak to this, but I think we also kind of, to some degree, agonized over color palette too, didn't we, David?
yeah. We came up with a few color palette choices, and I believe I presented two palettes, and Matt chose that. He was really like hands-on with color choices,
Hmm.
um, and just making things pop.
Hmm.
And actually, Matt's inputs made the cover stronger than what I had
Ah,
initially
that's great.
done with the black.
Mhm.
Uh, and yeah, so I'm really happy. Yeah. So Matt's got really good insight. He's got a good eye for design. Yeah.
What was it about this palette that spoke to you, Matt?
Well, the unfortunate thing for David is that I'm a designer as well, so that was my
Okay.
post-secondary was
Yeah,
design.
that's
All
right.
right.
Yeah, that's
So
right. That's right.
so the
So,
poor guy had to
yeah.
deal with a writer who's a designer, which I
Yep.
feel like is super unfair. But
Well,
yeah, but because it's like then I feel like maybe I pressed a little too hard sometimes, which is unfair. But what I think um this color palette versus and if I remember correctly, David, was it like a green and gold color
yeah,
palette the
it was
previous
kind of like a turquoise. Um,
turquoise? Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It was a nice color palette,
It is.
but it was more on cooler. Michael Morola, senior editor with Guernica, I showed him both of them. He liked them both. So I didn't mind either one. So I
Hmm.
left it up to Matt to choose which one. And actually, he ended up choosing the one I ended up liking in the end by a slight margin. But being mad as a designer, my initial reaction was fine. I work good with designers, right? I take criticism, I don't I have no ego to bruise or anything like that. I'm glad Matt is was the same way. So the collaboration
Hmm.
it was great. Um, there was no tension or anything like that. So
Yeah.
it was a really nice, smooth process.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah, it was
And
Yeah.
really good.
oh yeah, go ahead.
No, I
No,
was
I was
just
just
gonna
going
say,
to say that I agree with him that our process what I mean, I think it shows in the design of the book throughout is that we were just really lucky that we were able to connect and discourse in the way that I think is what you hope for in a collaborative project, an artistic collaborative project. I think that we did that well, and I think that the end result is a really great, beautiful looking design that suits the book as well.
Hmm.
And I felt very fortunate that was the case. And I think to David's point, it came down to just checking your ego at the door because I felt I like it's like submitting to the editorial process with the publisher at the same time. Like
Mm.
you want to make your good book great. And I
Hmm.
feel like that's how I felt when I was working with David was that I'm working with a professional designer and I have these ideas, they're good, but David's going to make it great.
Mm.
That, yeah, when you said editorial process, that also made me think about the design process, and everyone's different. I talked to some authors who design their own cover, and or when they write their own book, everyone has their own way of doing it. So was there like a formal process for here's how we're going to start, here's where we want to be, here's the usual like behind the scenes unglamorous design work, the brief and the talking and the back and forth. Was there a particular approach you guys used?
Yeah, I think the approach was first the conversation, and eventually, and the starting point, that photograph. And then it's sort of like for me, anyways, after a conversation, the fragmented design came
Hmm.
afterwards. But for me, when I talk when sometimes during collaboration, you just let everything sink,
Mm.
and then whatever flows to the surface of your mind, your thoughts,
Mm.
that sometimes takes time. But in the meantime, you can flush out whatever debris there is, and that being the cover, just trying to make that work, and it didn't work. Like I tried and tried, but that's the process, right?
Mm.
Until something breaks, and and talking about it with Matt openly
Yeah.
about it.
How
Like
many
I
iterations?
felt, yeah, I felt Matt didn't, he was the same way. It really didn't wasn't strong. So we
Mm,
were, and it just kind of happened. And I knew Matt since he was a designer, so I kind of um, I treat every book the same, but I kind of had in the back of my head step it up a little bit for the
mm,
interior,
mm-hmm.
uh, because Matt's a designer, and so just to take it into another level, right? To share,
How
and
many
yeah.
iterations were there? Sorry, how many iterations were there for the cover design?
Hmm.
That's a
I
good
would say,
question.
yeah,
Yeah.
I would say after the female,
Hmm.
the photograph, and I only show Matt like the one on my end. It goes through like multiple levels, right?
Mm,
And when I feel comfortable, I show it to Matt. And then after that, it came to the fragments, and
mm,
then from there, it went through a few innovations with the photos,
mm,
the architecture of one of the buildings. And yeah, the building right there,
mm-hmm.
uh, that's like three photographs, like just to get that little one
Oh,
scene.
okay.
Yeah, Matt showed me a bunch of photographs to go off of.
Mm.
I didn't
And
know that, David. I didn't know that you would stitch that together. That's
yeah, oh yeah, a lot of them are really,
I didn't know that that's what you
yeah,
did. That's
because
so cool.
because yeah, as a designers, you want, a pillar to be there, because of the shape. So
Yeah.
everything has to fit within that shape, and you don't want to lose anything. So you bring it into the picture, and all those little details.
Well,
Wow.
there you go, Michael. That's a very good
That's a
example of
scoop.
well, I didn't know. And this is part of it. You would ask that question about like how many iterations.
Yeah.
I'm on the other side, so I have no idea how much hard work David's doing in the background to produce that first look.
Mm-hmm.
So it felt like for me, we went through like two real versions. The first, which we rejected, and the second, where we really kind of like hashed it out. But for David, it sounds like there was a lot more going on.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. You have to, right? Like
Yep.
um, just like when you write something, it's got to be there, right? I'm sure when you write, you go
Um,
through so
so
many.
many, so many drafts. So many
Yeah, I can't
drafts.
even imagine, right?
Yep.
Yeah,
Same
yeah,
thing.
it's the same. And on a different take.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I,
Yeah.
How have
I
people?
would, sorry. No, I was just gonna say, the heart of any book is the story. It doesn't really matter, really about the cover. You know,
I
uh,
disagree.
Yeah, I
well,
have to disagree too, because I
okay,
feel like
yeah,
the heart of any book sure is the story, but the reason people pick up the book is the visual components.
Completely.
Yeah,
okay, yeah,
the
that
old
has
saying,
merit.
never judge a book by its cover, and that's all anybody ever does.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean the formula really is for at least for me as a reader is the cover first and then I read the blurb and then I'll flip
Yep,
through and maybe read some text inside so I do a little excerpt. So that's the first impression is everything and the cover is such a huge part of it because the cover will
yep,
get you into read the words. So,
yep. I'm the exact same way, and I think I think it's very rare for somebody to ignore a cover and just go straight to the first page.
oh yeah. I mean, when I used
I
to
don't know
drink,
how you could.
yeah, when I used to drink, when I would pick out wines, the
Yeah,
label sold it. I almost didn't even know what
sure.
what section I was in,
Yeah,
you know.
beautiful label. I'm in.
Exactly. And it could have been,
Yeah.
grape juice, but it was that's all.
I love it.
That's just what got me. I'm like, "Yep, good label." And people would say, "What kind of wine did you get?" I don't know. Look at the label.
I think there's
Yeah.
I'd love to just Michael
Yep.
just quickly jump on one point. I know we're
Yeah.
talking about covers,
Mm-hmm.
but I do want to point out that the text in this, like my story, was quite experimental in nature in
Mm,
both structure um, and a concept. And I think that I do want to just throw a quick shout out to David for the interior of it being just as beautiful because he had a lot to work with there. Sorry, not a lot to work with, but a lot of work to do
mm,
to capture that scope. And the book is broken down into these three parts that are significantly different
mm,
in layout. And that wasn't easy. And I personally am really thrilled and have heard from uh, many readers that they have never read a book quite like this, and that they found it, the flow of it, really, really easy. And I think that that lends itself to just the great design of the book.
can you show an example?
Yeah, absolutely. Here. Um, so here's an example. Well, this is just like chapter five, but this is just what you would
Oh,
normally see in a book, right? Like
mm-hmm,
this seems very standard.
mm-hmm.
But you flip to okay, so here's where things start to get a little weird. Um,
Ooh,
where you flip to the
cool.
center of the book, and now you're starting to deal with these auction items in the book where you're seeing all of these different styles and in layout,
Mm,
and like just
yep,
everything becomes a little bit more fragmented. And
yep.
then the final, which I really love these as we showed before, but the
Mm-hmm.
final part of the book, the title of it is just
Oh,
paperwork.
wow. So
And
beautiful.
I know. And the entire final part of the book is dialogue. There is actually no narrative. So he had to work, and there's no dialogue attribution either. So he had to really work to kind of capture this pacing that we wanted for the book, which I found was
Wow.
fantastic. Yeah.
Hmm. So not your everyday interior book design.
No, no. And I think again that just that the cover has to lend itself to that. And I
Hmm.
think David nailed it.
Hmm. That's very cool.
Yeah.
Are there other elements of the book promotion that were you involved with, David? Like any social graphics or posters or, in-store display things that you had to work on?
Yeah, you know what? I do that, but Guernica takes care of that. They have a department.
Yep.
So if they need anything, then they'll call on me to do it. But I didn't have any hands-on when it came to any promotion material from that.
Because just seeing the reason I ask, because seeing all the different interior treatments, I'm sure someone had a fun time. This is a good foundation to lift off for other
Oh
collateral
yeah,
and assets. Yeah.
yeah. I hope so. I would have a fun time with it for sure
Yeah.
because I could see
Those shapes.
like everything is there, right?
Yep.
That fragmented um,
Hmm.
dialogue going through
Hmm.
the entire um, spectrum would be great to have. Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. Because
Well, and I like the from what I found, everything that the marketing team over there has done is they've just pulled from David's design because
Hmm.
it's a very easy thing to do, and that's exactly what they've done is they just pulled directly from the design and used his great design to further promote the book, which is great.
I'm happy. Yeah.
Very good. How have people responded to the cover, like in bookstores or libraries or?
Well, as far from my end,
Hmm.
I've only heard how striking it is and how mysterious it is,
Hmm.
and that after they've read the book, they've gone back over the cover in a much closer way um, to kind of read between the lines in those shards, those
Mm.
facets of pictures that are on there. Now they're seeing the story in a visual way from the cover. So that's been my experience is that it's been really great. I don't know if David's heard anything though.
Yeah, that sounds great. That would make sense. Like to analyze the cover.
Hmm.
Most readers do that, you know. They close the book and they look at the cover, you know, and piece together.
Hmm.
Um, uh, there's always a rule for design, for the interior. The interior, when you read a book. It's you should have like a comfortable read and not distracting. So you shouldn't really focus in on anything really,
Hmm.
except for the text.
Hmm.
But if you're a book lover and you just step back and you just take a look at the way it's laid out, it should be nice to look at. Yeah.
Well, I also liked that the advanced readers that read with the hope of getting praise from blurbs for the cover. Like I'm just going to quickly read here. Zilla Jones, who wrote "The World So Wide," wrote. Expertly connecting tiny threads of the story to create patterns and making sense of chaos in a way that is greatly satisfying. Like you can feel that the cover design weighed in on their thoughts.
Hmm.
I love I love this one from Ben Berman Gahn, who was the author of The Library Cosmic, and he says that. Marmalade Parade is a book of sharp, quick lines that blossom into vivid imagery. And again, it just feels like you're just hearing an extension of the text itself mixed with that cover design.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's
So
exciting.
maybe subconsciously those images and stuff weighed in on their blurbing.
Yeah,
That's cool.
that's pretty
See,
awesome.
see, David, covers matter.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a great collaboration.
Yep.
It really was. Like in the beginning, it was like I didn't know where it was gonna go, but we got there. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's awesome.
It really jumped out at me when I was researching covers to features. So I'm glad we were able to talk about the behind the scenes of the cover. I think
Yeah,
it
it's
makes it
good to
that
have
much
a
more
full
interesting, really.
Yeah,
It
it's
sure
good to have
does.
like
Yeah.
a full package, you know,
Yep.
like you want the cover to work with the interior, you know, like the story, and that's what you hope for, right? Like
Hmm.
you don't want to mess it up
Yeah.
or mislead anything. Like you have like the smoking gun on the cover, but there's no gun in the story,
Hmm.
and those covers are that's just like an example. So you want everything to you know
Hmm.
um, yeah, you don't want to bruise the interior, the story.
I totally agree with you on the smoking gun concept. It's like it was there, but why? You know, like
Right.
that's not in the book at all. A gun never makes an appearance.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
and there's actually a cover out there like that.
Hmm.
yeah, yeah.
Probably more than one,
And I
yeah.
feel like it just teases you
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
in all the wrong ways.
Yeah. They take the trope and like,
Yeah.
they won't care. Um, I don't know why I'm asking this question, but any chance that this book will be translated into a graphic novel?
Ah,
That's a great question. My God, I would love that.
Hmm.
Michael, I got my start in comics, and I have such a thrill to this day reading
Same.
great graphic novels. I would love to see an adaptation of this at some point, but I don't know of anything on the horizon,
Okay.
and it'll come down to, I guess, the maybe the success of the book because it's very new still,
Hmm.
and hopefully things like this they always help to do a little extra promotion. Which, by
Hmm.
the way, thank you for that.
Yeah, of course.
I can use all the help I can get.
Yes.
And this is wonderful. So, you never know, right? What the reader the reading world demands. And one day, hopefully, yeah. I would totally allow that and love that.
Yeah, because Darwin Cook did the Parker series.
Oh God. Oh man, one of
Did
my
you read those?
all-time favorite. Yeah, oh yeah,
I
everyone.
love them.
I so you probably read the original novels too. The
Yeah.
novels are fantastic.
Oh, I
The
love them.
adaptations are unbelievable.
Yeah.
But it's Darwin Cook. I mean, amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have the whole collection, but I had all the books too. I had the whole series. Um,
Yeah, they're so so good. They're so good. Oh, and the color palette inside, like the monochromatic, just
yeah.
fantastic.
Yeah. No, really a great piece. So that's partly why I asked from that because I'm thinking this all the pieces could lend a very cool grid inside to tell the story, or at least even a chapter excerpt.
Amazing. I
Yeah.
would love that.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, maybe it'll happen now.
Exactly.